Hello all and welcome back. So today we're going to clean out one clatty, bogging, minging, dusty ass PC. Let's get right to it. Right, here we go, adventuring into Ethan's room while he's at school. He's actually got a pretty decent room for a teenager, to be honest, good space. Wee bit jealous he's actually got all this to himself. But you can see he's got some nice acoustic panels in the wall. In the corner he's got the ELITE Hex lights. Nice red effect to them at the moment. And that's a kind of theme that he's got going on through the rest of the stuff in his PC. So in his background, his wallpaper in his PC, he's got the red Texans along with the red Texans on his mouse mat as well. So when I'm done doing his PC, I'll give his desk and everything a clean up, and the monitors and stuff, and some of the stuff in the corner here has a wee bit of dust built up. But the main culprit is the PC itself. He's been complaining recently about the noise of the fans being a wee bit louder than usual, and I think that's just down to a build up of dust that's collected on the fan blades itself. We've been in this house now for about a year, and the PC's not been cleaned in that time, and I couldn't tell you prior to that when it was last cleaned, so it's well and truly overdue. But you can't really see the dust because of lighting just now, but it is pretty caked. You can see a wee bit of it just now, but I'll set up a new light and hopefully we can see it a bit clearer, sorry. So you can see now the dust I'm talking about, there's a good layer of it on the top of the PC. So I'll fire the hoover on, I'll suck up as much of the big lumps of dust on the outside of the case as much as I can, remove the front panel, give the front fans a hoover out, try to pick up as much as I can, and then I'll start working my way inside and doing other bits and bobs. But yeah, you can see how caked this filter is just now. Aye, I'll crack on with that. Right, that's the hoovering done, so we can now get the side panels off, just a couple of thumb screws. Now if you're wondering what case this is, it's the Aerocool Aero 1 Eclips RGB. I actually handed this down to my son after I upgraded my case, but this case was actually a really good case. The airflow in it's pretty good. It's narrow in depth, but it's quite high, and if you fit an all-in-one to the top, it's really good because from the side you can't see the radiator like you can in most cases. But we'll get the panels off and have a look inside and see how bad the dust is inside. Same again on the other end here, just 2 thumb screws, takes off the back panel. Now we can get a closer look at the cooler itself. So the fans are absolutely caked in dust, and then the cooling block in the background as well is all clogged up, which is not good at all. And then the fan tips inside, they're all got a little coating of dust, some dust in the filter, the front fans, a wee bit of dust in the top of the back plate on the graphics card. So quite a lot of stuff to be cleaned out here. I've laid the case on its side for easier access to stuff, but while we're here we'll give the filter at the bottom where the PSU is a clean out as well, if I can get it out. Oh, that's pretty clogged up as well, it's minging. We'll get the hoover onto that, give it a good clean, and then I'll give it a wipe down later on as well, make sure I've got all the dust off it. It's coming off pretty easily actually, but I'll still give it a wipe down anyway. We've got a cloth and some antibacterial spray, I'll give it a clean. Every time you touch something there's a new layer of dust, you gotta keep going over everything with a hoover to pick it all up, it's never ending. And we'll take the front filter off as well while we're here. There's massive lumps of dust coming off of this. This is probably the worst bit of it all. Ah, look at that, that's absolutely minging. That's like a year's worth of dead skin cells built up. It's absolutely honking. And give it a hoover as well. And then I'll give it a good old wipe down with the detergent, get it all nice and clean. And you've seen all the big lumps of dust coming off of that, so I'll need to give the inside of the case a hoover up as well and pick all the wee bits and bobs up. Right, now we can go about taking out the CPU cooler itself. Just need to lift this latch on the side. If it comes... nearly took my bloody fingers off, but that's it off. This is a fun bit. Just give this a little wiggle side to side. It should come off pretty easy, as I ran the computer for an hour earlier on to heat up the paste. And it's just this one last bit of the clip that always seems to cause me bother trying to get it off. Get my fingers in. I've got big skinny fingers as well, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it always is. Come on, bloody thing. Hook off. There we go. That's it hooked off. Yeah, so I ran the PC earlier on, put a bit of temperature into the thermal paste just to make sure I don't rip the bloody CPU out when I lift the cooler off. Just unplug the cable to the CPU header on the motherboard. But you can see yourself, look how caked that is. That's absolutely choked with dust. Thermal paste at the bottom, bit too much that I put on the last time, but better than having too much than too little. What I'll do now is remove the graphics card as well. I'll probably need a wee clean out. Just pull out the power connections here. Use my wee fan can screwdriver. I've got a video to that if you want to have a look. Cracking a little bit of kit off Amazon, dirt cheap, and everything you need for PC maintenance. But a couple of screws here. Take these off, and then there's a little clamp as well as part of the case, just a thumb screw, and lift that up, and then it's just a case of releasing the catch on the PCIe 16 slot. If I can get my fingers in, I can get to the top. It's not too bad. The graphics card's actually not looking too bad. A wee bit of dust on the tips of the fans. Again, I'll give that a clean. A wee bit of dust at the back, and or the back plate itself, it's got a good layer of dust on it as well, so I'll give it all a clean. Stick that to the side and I'll do that soon. We can now go about removing the thermal paste from the CPU using some isopropyl alcohol rubbing fluid. Just get that on a kitchen roll and start working away at it. Remove as much as we can. It's actually quite a big build up of the old thermal paste around the side of the CPU. CPU, by the way, is a Ryzen 7 3700X, but I think we're going to need to use a cotton bud here and remove this big lump of excess to the side. Just scrape that away, it's come away quite easily. Put far too much on. Another wee bit here at the side, just again work our way at it with the cotton bud just to remove it, and that's that done. And then back with the kitchen roll with the fluid on it, just keep working away at it, make sure it's a nice clean surface ready for the new paste to go on. Just ensuring that I've got all the little bits that have all kind of run down the side, making it as clean as possible. That's looking good. Now what we can do is remove all the paste from the bottom of the cooler as well. Far too much, far too much. Look at that. Just making it worse. I'm spreading it even further. Big chunks of it. Well, make sure I give this a good cleaning. And get some more fluid on a new bit of tissue. And just work our way at the bottom of it until it's all nice and clean. Should start coming away easier now that I've got rid of the excess lumps. Yes. Much better now, coming away. There's little grooves here in the bottom of the cold plate that's it's got the thermal paste stuck in it. Needs a wee bit of work to get that out, but it's looking good. Nice shiny surface, nice and smooth. Nice and clean, ready to go. If you've never done it before, you can actually remove the fan from the top of the stock cooler just by getting your thumbs into this point here and pulling it away from the fins. It should come out no problem. Just allows you to unclip it altogether. and in my case the clamp falls off. It's easy enough to put it back together, but yeah, by splitting it all and taking it apart like this, it allows you to get the hoover into the fins and clean the underside of the blades on the fan as well, and then just a case of putting it back together. Simple enough. So here you can see it's all nice and clean now, looking as if it's brand new. Spot on. It's just a case of getting the thermal paste onto the processor and dropping this back in to the top of the motherboard. Now we can apply some new thermal paste to the CPU, and I have the Aero thermal paste from Thermal Grizzly. It's actually meant to be Cryonaut that I bought from my own rig, and this stuff came instead, but I just kept a hold of it because I thought it would come in handy, which it did. And then I bought some Cryonaut for my own PC. So I can use this on my son's PC because he has an air cooler, which is the stock cooler. So just pop the cap open, put a pea-size amount in the middle, as everybody recommends. That's probably a little bit more than a pea-size, but it'll do the job. Stick a cap on, make sure that doesn't dry out, and then we can put the actual cooler back on. So if you stick one side of the clamp on first, which is the side closest to the M.2 slot, just push your finger in, make sure it's hooked under, and then hook it onto the other side closest to the top of the case, and push the little latch down to put the pressure on it, make sure it's all clamped down. Simple. And now what I'm going to do is just basically clean all the fans down with a little antibacterial spray, just to make sure I get all the remaining dust off all the 6 fans and anywhere else in the case I can get a cloth into to clean off. So now we can stick the graphics card back in. I cleaned up the fans, cleared the dust from in between the cooling fins and on the back plate. This graphics card, if anybody's interested, is the RTX 2070 Super OC Gaming. Still quite a decent card. This was my old card that I passed down to my son. So just a case of popping it back into the slot, make sure it's pushed down firmly. I'll push this little clamp down in the back of the case to hold it in place temporarily. And then I'll make sure the little latch, the PCIe slot, is locked in. And then just make sure it's screwed down using the 2 screws that I took off before. And just grab the other one, and screw this down, and that'll be that done. We have a visitor. We have a big ginger furball coming up to do his nosy. He thinks he's actually going to get to sit inside this thing, as cats always do. Find a box and they will sit in it. If I fits, I sits. But he's just going to end up getting his PC all furry so he can bog off, beat it moggy. On the floor you go. So we'll just make sure this is all connected up, get the power connections. One's just trapped underneath here. Just grab these 2 and push them in place, and that's that. What I'll do is I'll put the PC down on the floor just now and give the table a wipe down and a hoover as well. Right, all we need to do now is get the panels back on, so I'll stick the back panel in first. Just make sure it's located properly. And then grab a couple of the thumb screws and screw it back into place. Then I'll do the front panel. This just simply pushes back on, just pops in. And finally the side panel. Just tuck this little cable out of the way, just make sure it's out of sight. Just locate that into the groove at the bottom of the case, make sure it's slid in properly, it's not sticking out anywhere. There we go. And then just grab the thumb screws again and put them in. And what I'll do is after this, fingers crossed, it should all fire up properly first time. Every now and then, if you've maybe took things out of your PC before, you can disturb things and you have a problem when you first reboot it, but didn't really do too much to this. Just a graphics card, remove the cooler, not a lot disturbed, so hopefully it should fire up first time. Just give it a wee wipe down here, just get rid of the fingerprints, and it should be good to go. So that's the big man's man cave clean, or well, should say his desk clean. Managed to get that all cleaned as well, polished it all, hoovered it all, cleaned all the little things sitting on top of it, his monitors, get rid of all the dust in between the keys and his keyboard, his mouse mat and so on, and then obviously his PC, which is all nice and clean in the corner as well, his headset stand. So it's all nice and tidy for him to come home to when he's finished school. There you have it, one nice clean PC and hopefully one happy son. Not really a lot to talk about that video, just thought I would share it, maybe give you a wee idea of what you need to do if you ever have to do some cleaning in your PC. It's pretty simple, not a lot to it. It should never ever get in that state, to be honest with you. It should really kind of keep on top of it. That was far too long and far too much dust had collected up on it, but anyways, thought I'd share it with you, something else, especially the wee bit with splitting the fan away from the cooler. A lot of people probably didn't think that was possible, but there you go. It's an easy wee job to do. It just pulls apart. But yep, enough waffling from me. Hopefully you liked the video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you can. Give me a wee thumbs up. Share the video if you can as well. And hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. See you later.